1,000 fans per game at home as we are underway from Carver-Hawkeye, and Iowa wins the opening tip-off. Quickly, Hanna Stuelke underneath, off the glass. No court, quick in transition as well. That's where both these teams like to get a lot of their points.
Yeah, and for Iowa, we've seen at times not the best start right away. We saw last week versus Cleveland State. They kind of struggled in the first quarter, kept it close, but were able to pull away in those second and third quarters and extend that lead.
Molly Davis dishes it out to Affolter. Kate Barton now battling in the paint, puts up a shot, front iron, back iron.
Steals. It's a head coach's nightmare, and I think Sydney Affolter is going to do a lot of that today.
Affolter this season averaging just over 6.5 points per game, and averaging over 6.5 points. Loyola Chicago strikes first. They're up 2-0 with under 9 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Loyola starting with a little half-court press right away. Start some pressure, deflecting a lot of black.
Chance to build a two-possession lead. This one's ripped away from Kate Barton, all alone in transition, off the glass, and drains it.
What to do? You have to guard the perimeter. We talked pregame is that's where they're gonna find their open shots, and we've seen Iowa struggle a little bit defensively.
Affolter wide open three, no good. From three, no good. Back iron, rebounded by Caitlin Clark. In transition the other way, ahead for Affolter. She gets tripped up.
With Hanna Stuelke back in there, so Affolter is going to have to play a big role on the rebounding end, especially defensively.
Caitlin Clark in the paint, battling with Gallinopoulos, up and fouled on the way up. Checking in for Loyola. Emma Nolan will check in for Tannen, who just got tabbed with that foul. Drains the first. And drains the second. He talks about a three and drains it. Quickly in transition, Molly Davis. Mid-range floater, no good off the back iron. Rebounded by Affolter, gets her own rebound, another shot, and one.
What do we talk about, AJ? Sydney Affolter rebounds. Offensive time there, 2 times getting second chance points. Finds a way to get some knocked on a foul there and take it for a three-point play.
She had a great look on the first one, went up for her own rebound and got the putback 2 and 1. Has a chance to make this a 1-point game here. Does not. On Monday against SIUE, 3,747, a little bit of a different atmosphere here in Iowa City.
Yeah, a little bit different atmosphere, but this is the growth of women's basketball right now. You're seeing a lot of sold-out crowds. I mean, here at Carver-Hawkeye Arena, we see it night in and night out, but it's good to see across the country.
A lot three, no good back iron, rebounded by Clark. All the way up to Stuelke behind the defense, off the glass, and good. In the field, 3 for 9. Loyola Chicago, 3 for 6. I've hit 2 3-pointers already in this one. Clark at the logo. Dumps it out for Feuerbach. Looking around, has Clark on the far side. Clark pulls up from 3. Bang! Caitlin. And Nolan puts up a 3. No good. Rebounded by Clark. Quickly in transition. Across the timeline. Clark pulls up from the MediaCom logo. No good. Back iron. Rebounded. Intercepted by Nolan now. It's Keiko, drives into the paint, but rejected by Clark. Full court pass for Feuerbach into the paint, and she is tackled by Emma Nolan the other way.
They're a physical team. We've seen that earlier. We saw on the offensive end a little bit there, and we see it there now.
Caitlin Clark with the full court pass for Feuerbach. We've seen that work a couple of times, but Emma Nolan, a little too aggressive there, sends Feuerbach to the floor. Scoring list across all of women's basketball. She needs 14 to tie Rachel Banham, 28 to tie Jerica Coley for 8th and 7th, respectively.
Yeah, and there's a good chance we see both those get passed tonight, and feels like every single week we're talking about Caitlin Clark surpassing some sort of accolade.
Long 2, no good. Bounces in the air, but rebounded by Sydney Affolter.
And good defense there for the Hawkeyes. You want to waste that shot clock.
3-pointer for Berg, no good. Rebounded by Clark.
And talking to a little bit with Raina Harmon, you don't want to give open threes, but you're okay with contested threes. Let Loyola make those mistakes their own. If they're
Clark quickly the other way. Feuerbach thought about a 3, pulls it back down. Has Stuelke at the top of the key. Stuelke now tries to drive in on the second attempt.
Luckily, she was able to get fouled and head to the stripe because that didn't really seem like a position she wanted to be in there.
Drains the first. Stuelke, as we talked about in the pregame, this is her 7th start this season. She dealt with a little bit of an injury earlier in the year, but she's back in the starting lineup. Checks in for the Ramblers. Her twin sister, Emma Nolan, took a seat. Both of them transferred from St. John's a couple of years ago. This one's inside, but knocked
Scouting
away.
report that they need to push the pace, but interesting to see if they find a way to set up an offense. As you see there, right there, to find Taylor McCabe.
Caitlin Clark looking like a quarterback out there on the court. Nice pass, but knocked away. Molly Davis looking for a bounce.
You know, that's what happens when you play with good big forwards, big centers there. That allows a lot of assist, and she's not selfish enough to not make that open pass. We've seen a lot this year.
Clark cuts into the paint, dumps it out for Davis, pulls up from three, no good. From three, no good. Rebounded by Goodman. Taylor McCabe the other way. Finds Clark. Clark, spin move into the paint. Goes up, off the glass, no good. In the field. Kate Martin to a cutting Caitlin Clark off the glass and good. It's not too long of a break for her. A little bit of a press by Loyola Chicago, and it works. Great job by Alyssa Fisher to stick with it. But Caitlin Clark pulling up from three as well. Sophia wearing 14, Emma Nolan wearing 41. We have to keep an eye out, make sure we don't screw that up. Caitlin Clark over to Kate Martin, all the way around for Affolter. Dumps inside for Clark. Kick out to Martin, pulls up from three, drains it. Go. Molly Davis brings it up for Iowa. The Nolan to Nolan connection on that last bucket. Caitlin Clark fakes a three, step back three, no good. In the game on Monday, drains a three. That one knocked away by Sophia Nolan, quite literally. Maybe he'll get an assist. Caitlin Clark over to Kate Martin. Tries to get it to Sydney Affolter, but knocked away. Back to live action. Loyola Chicago up 28-24. Caitlin Clark has it at the logo for Iowa. Over to Kate Martin in the corner, drives into the paint. Off the glass, no good. Good. What a shot by Chivers. Her first bucket of the night. All the way for Sydney Affolter, but the pass just too strong and out of bounds. Loyola Chicago has 7 points off of them. This was a pass inside, but intercepted by Molly Davis. Long pass for Caitlin Clark, and they are just on Iowa. So it'll be Loyola Chicago's ball, but this one's ripped away by Sydney Affolter. And a whiff. Bierbach inbounds it to Clark. Gets a screen from Goodman. Clark at the logo. Dumps inside for Goodman. Off the glass and good. They quickly back off on the press. Caitlin Clark able to walk across the timeline. Davis to Affolter. Now Sydney Affolter driving into the paint. Puts up a shot off the glass and good. 3-pointers tonight.
These Ramblers are not afraid to shoot. We knew that coming in, what they can do around the perimeter, and they're showing it tonight.
Clark pulls up from three, no good. Rebounded by Affolter. Sydney Affolter looking around. She's going to take a shot and gets fouled on the way up and falls hard, but she's headed to the line for two.
We talked about it too. Offensive glass for Affolter. She's showing what she can do in there tonight.
Great job by Affolter. We've talked about her rebounding skills. She's able to get up a shot as well. Tonight, Affolter has 4 rebounds, 4 points, and this is her second trip to the charity stripe. Drains the first.
9 fouls for Loyola early on. That's going to be something to watch down the stretch, is how they change their lineups through that, because they've been physical, but when you do that, you do risk foul trouble as well.
Affolter knocks down from three, no good. Rebounded by Bierbach. Caitlin Clark driving into the paint, bounces out for Bierbach, but kicked away. This one all the way back. Affolter will go and pick it up. But Loyola Chicago not taking too much advantage of it, only 7 points off the turnovers. Iowa also has 7 points off of turnovers to Loyola Chicago's 7 turnovers. Kate Martin to Sydney Affolter. Affolter driving into the paint, off the glass, no good, rebounds it herself, second chance point.
Gets the offensive board and finds a way to get back to the stripe again.
Second chance points have been in favor of Iowa early in this one. Leading offensive charity stripe, so she has been able to draw a lot of fouls when fighting for those rebounds.
Yeah, and Loyola has been a physical team throughout this entire game, but it seems like Iowa's controlled the offensive glass and defensive glass for sure. Loyola hasn't gotten a lot of second chance points there, and that's really the only place that Iowa's really controlled this game so far. So need to find ways to clean up things offensively, but really good to see them controlling the offense.
Give her the Heisman. Caitlin Clark brings it across, hands it off to Feuerbach all the way to Martin. Sydney Affolter has it to Stuelke in the paint. Stuelke, physical underneath, gets it to go off the glass. Stuelke up to 8 points. Clark gets it back, puts up another move. Off the glass, no good, rebounded by Martin. Kate Martin over to Feuerbach. Hands it off to Clark. Standing on the logo, thought about a three. Pulls up from three, no good, front iron. Yep, Tula drains that one. Caitlin Clark now goes to work in the paint. A whistle.
What's bugging her, but looks like she got knocked pretty hard on that foul.
Yeah, drove in, 3 defenders on her. Looked like she got hit low. But she's going to shake it off and head to the line. This is the first.
Yeah, Clark, a really tough player. We've seen it fight through a lot of injuries, and in a tight game like this, you're rarely going to see Caitlin Clark pull herself out.
Ramblers up 41-37 on the 4th-ranked Iowa Hawkeyes. Caitlin Clark, pass inside for Martin off the glass.
Usually the strong suit, so you got to find a way to at least limit those threes and shut down the Ramblers as best you can.
Caitlin Clark brings it across the timeline, directing traffic. Sydney Affolter inside for Hanna Stuelke in the paint. Physical off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Stuelke, second chance. Iowa battled right back. We're all knotted up at 41 apiece.
Going back to Hanna Stuelke, we only saw 17 minutes out of her last week, and that was, limiting herself as well. But
Bird drops down another three. Caitlin Clark with an answer. Long two off the back iron, no good. Feuerbach with the rebound. Caitlin Clark in transition, driving into the paint. Off the glass, no good, but draws the foul. Averaging 93.2 points per game. Loyola Chicago, not quite near that mark, averaging 64.7 points per game, but averaging almost 2 points more than their opponent through 10 games this season. Clark knocks down both free throws. On up Gallinopoulos to Fisher in the paint. Under a minute to go in the first half. Hawks lead by 2. Clark fakes a three. Looking around, has Stuelke underneath in the paint, off the glass, no good. Rebounded by Affolter, hits the bottom of the basket. And that one a big one. 6-7 seconds. The difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Clark has it at the logo. 20 seconds left to go in the first half. Clark taking her time, looking to take one of the last couple of shots. Pass for Kate Martin, wide open three. Bingo! 6 after 1 half. You're watching women's basketball on Big Ten Plus. They were here last night for the men's basketball game. Second appearance here tonight in the women's basketball game. But Hanna Stuelke's been the story tonight for Iowa, up to 12 points.
Yeah, she has. And a lot of on the offensive glass, we knew she could do that. We knew she's going to be a factor back in the starting lineup. We knew she needed to be involved tonight.
12 points.
Sure, and that whole possession was really physical. Look for that to be a story here in the second half. I mean, if this is how both these teams are going to want to play, we're going to see it. It's going to be fast-paced. We saw a little bit of sloppiness early in that first half. So see if there's some changes here.
Hawkeye puts up a shot, rebounded by Stuelke.
And that's what Iowa needs to do. Find a way to limit that shot clock. Get it into single digits, because you don't want Loyola getting those quick battle there between Stuelke and Tannen. So that's going to be another thing to watch. We see them try to get Tannen involved early, as Stuelke was able to provide power.
Wide open
off the bench, do good, but not much. You're not missing a whole lot with Gabby, because Sydney can do the same thing.
Caitlin Clark, deep three back as this one's no good off the glass. Quickly rebounded by Iowa. Caitlin Clark in transition into the paint, off the glass, and good. In her tenure there in one season, Hanna Stuelke comes down with the rebound, hands it off to Sydney Affolter.
Yeah, we didn't really talk much about it, AJ, but Gabby Marshall, this is Iowa's first game without her since February 6th of 2022.
Behind the back, beautiful pass. Behind the back, no looker, Patrick Mahomes-esque. But Stuelke can't finish it on the back end, but she'll go to her and Patrick Mahomes notably have a friendship. I don't know if it's gotten past Twitter quite yet, but.
Well, Caitlin Clark is known for her Chiefs fandom, and we've seen Patrick Mahomes go to go to social media and express how much of a fan he is of Caitlin Clark. So there's that.
There continues to be rumors whether Patrick Mahomes is going to make it out to a game. Stuelke rips down the rebound. Looking for another second chance here. Sydney Affolter gets the screen from Clark. Dumps it off for Stuelke in the paint. Battling off the glass. No good. Rebounded by Sydney Affolter again. Double team. And well, again, Sydney Affolter just being physical underneath and giving Iowa another chance. Caitlin Clark has it at the logo. This play seems to get louder whenever she has the ball. Loses the handle on it. Somehow still has it. Looking around. Caitlin Clark gets it ripped out and a foul. Steps out for Loyola Chicago, and in comes Keika. This was a quick shot by Kate Martin.
But regardless, if she's not going to be the shooter that she was, the way she plays defense, the way she gets those steals, she's vicious. She's vicious on the defensive end. Look for her to keep that back up. And
Marshall is ranked second in the nation with most games played among active players. Kate Martin is also on that list. She's tied for fifth. She wants to come back to Iowa City or fulfill her dream and making it to the WNBA.
Yeah, and there's rumors there's some scouts in the crowd tonight looking at potential #1 overall pick, and she has a big decision to make, but I think it's not the one she's thinking about right now. She has goals right now, and I think that, that starts in March.
She'll be the first to tell you that she's not focused on that. It's all right here on the court, so it'll stay on this side of the court.
Yeah, we had a really physical first half, and we're seeing very physical on this part, too, as we go back and see the play by Affolter. Great pass from Kate Martin there.
Brings it back to 64-54. Molly Davis brings it across the timeline. Hands it off to Clark.
For that basket, Iowa's on 11-1 run, but you're not going to see this Rambler team go away. They're staying physical, still working their offense really well.
Feuerbach had 3 defenders down low. Great pass, and Kyla Feuerbach just got physical underneath. Dropped Emma Nolan. But an easy charge call for the referees. The first Ivy League school to ever win a national postseason women's basketball tournament. So a seasoned head coach in her second year with the Ramblers.
Yeah, and the Ramblers are becoming such, they're increasing. Of course, you look at the men's side. They were, a Cinderella team back then and now have moved to the Atlantic 10 Conference. So
4 minutes to go in this third quarter. Hawkeyes lead 66-54. Molly Davis has it. Great move into the paint. Gives it up for Fisher. No good. Back iron. Rebounded by Clark. Gives it up for Martin. Fakes the 3. Now drives into the paint. Looking around. Has Molly Davis at the top of the key. Hand off to Clark. Pulls up from 3. No good. Rebounded by Stuelke. No good on the second chance. Give her a third chance. No good. Just rolls off. But you're right, Hawkeye. Both teams have slowed down, especially offensively. Loyola Chicago, one of their last 7, haven't scored in the last 2 minutes. Molly Davis into the paint. Dishes out for Martin. Corner 3, no good. For Nolan, swatted away by Emma Nolan. And now Taylor McCabe has it. Cross-court pass for Martin. Grabs it out of the air like a DB.
Held off on it. Found her again. Martin heads to the stripe.
Great pass by McCabe and greater catch by Kate Martin. What a catch. Over the shoulder. Kate Martin 2 for 2 from the charity stripe tonight. Up to 14 points.
Kind of feels like a football game with all the physicality we've had tonight.
A lot of fouls from both squads. Iowa has 18 fouls. Loyola Chicago 18 personal fouls against Iowa. 3-point attempt by Nolan, no good. Rebounded by Clark. One thing Loyola Chicago has certainly been doing well is sharing the rock. Only 3 players who have entered the game tonight have not scored. Everyone else has. Fisher leads the way with 12 points. Caitlin Clark drives into the paint, off the glass and good. Caitlin Clark, she's been great from 3 tonight, 3 for 9, but Emma Nolan, she's now up to 11 points. Sydney Affolter all the way across to Taylor McCabe in the corner. She puts up a 3-pointer. Back iron, no good. Out of foul trouble. She's only got 1 personal foul tonight. Caitlin Clark receives the screen from Stuelke, cuts through the paint, and up. Knight behind the back. Caitlin Clark for 3. Bingo!
Lisa Bluter's kind of shaking her head over there. Not sure if that's what she wanted. A little bit slow down the pace, and she made it clear what she wants now.
Caitlin Clark now does slow down the pace. After that deep 3-pointer from the Mediacom logo. Now goes to work on Gallinopoulos, letting this clock go all the way down, about half a second between the shot clock and the game clock. Clark gets a screen from Stuelke, now double teamed at the logo, and a foul. Clark will head to the line. Clark needs 43 to tie Patricia Hoskins on 6 for the all-time scoring list.
That's the defense we've seen a lot of steals for Iowa. Good play by Feuerbach. She's been tenacious as well, as we see more plays by Caitlin Clark through the contact.
She continues to be an anomaly, an alien, some might say, for the Iowa Hawkeyes. She's up to 33 tonight as the Hawkeyes lead 79-61. We've got 1 quarter to go. You're watching Women's Hawkeye fans quite a gift. 33 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists. 7 for 8 from the free throw line, 4 for 10 from beyond the arc. She has been incredible.
She has been incredible. Nothing what we're not used to seeing out of Caitlin Clark. A lot of physical buckets tonight. She's had to work for them. We saw first quarter, calls weren't going quarter. We've seen her do Caitlin Clark things like we've seen all year long.
She's already passed Patricia Hoskins for 6th on the all-time scoring list. She's already passed Rachel Banham and Jerica Coley. Stuelke back to Clark. Logo 3. No good. Front iron. And that's going to go out of bounds. Cuts through the defense. Around the world, but no good. Hanna Stuelke pulls down the rebound. Sydney Affolter hands it off to Clark. Back to Kate Martin. Kylie Feuerbach around the defense, into the paint, but rejected. Transferred from Iowa State after her freshman year and was out all of last year with an injury, but has gotten some significant minutes, especially here tonight, averaging 3.2 coming into the game. And after that free throw, she's up to 3 points. All of them have been from the free throw line per game, and she's played a lot tonight.
Yeah, and she was out all of last year, but the year before that had a really big impact in her first year as a Hawkeye.
Beautiful pass from Kate.
Rambler team, how well they've been able to shoot the ball all night long, even through some adversity.
Clark tried to be going back the other way.
Yeah, Stuelke gave a little bit of an elbow there, a little bit of a push off, but what we see right there is those open looks.
That she couldn't finish, but right there, a great one as Kylie Feuerbach gets the steal. Kate Martin the other way in transition into the paint and tries to go up, but has been on fire. Hanna Stuelke cuts through the defense, off the glass and in.
Starting lineup. This is what the Hawkeyes needed before they headed home for break.
Hanna Stuelke's career high is 22 points. She hit that earlier this year against FDU. Needs 2 to tie it. Gets rejected on the way.
Good performance so far.
You can't take away either what Loyola Chicago has been able to do tonight. 64 points. They have multiple players in double digits as well. Fisher has 12. Emma Nolan has 15, and she's hit 3 from beyond the arc. A lot of players very close.
Went to the paint hard, threw some contact, and found a way to get the bucket.
Clark cuts into the paint, knocked away by Fisher. Gets it back out to Feuerbach. Back out to Clark in the corner. Pulls up from 3, no good. Bounces around, pulled down by Sophia. Puts up a shot, no good. Rebounded by Stuelke. This one nearly picked off, but Feuerbach's able to grab it. Affolter tries to get a bounce pass to Clark, kicked away. Stuelke somehow comes up with it. Clark now has it. Clark inside for Stuelke, and throws per game made. And they have blown that number out of the water tonight.
Yeah, they have, and I think this is the perfect game for Iowa right before break and right before Big Ten play, because we know how physical the Big Ten is.
Caitlin Clark is taking over. Caitlin Clark comes down with the rebound. She's 2 assists away from a triple-double. Caitlin Clark driving into the paint by Fisher, but Feuerbach keeps with it. Clark nearly loses the handle on it. 5.5 minutes to go in the ballgame. Hawkeyes up 85-69. Molly Davis drives in. Back out for Martin. Pulls up from 3. Bingo! 3 for Berg, no good. Rebounded by Martin. Martin across the Feuerbach, long pass, corner 3, no good. Fisher pulls up from 3, no good. We've seen a lot of those drop tonight for the Ramblers. 13 for 30. O'Grady the other way, off the glass and good. 3, no good. And it hits Deptula in the face. She smiles about it. She's okay in transition. Taylor McCabe pulls up from three. No good. Back iron. Rebounded by Clark. 3.5 to go in this one. Clark gets around the defense, into the paint, up and off the glass and in. This one from the Ramblers, Gallinopoulos, no good. Clark, some nice handles the other way. Needs 1 assist for a triple-double. Molly Davis has it after the pass from Clark. She's going to pull up wide open three, no good. Rebounded by Grady, goes up off the glass. Rejected by Addison O'Grady. Clark into Gyamfi off the glass and in. And Kate Clark continues to grow. Another great pass, and Jada Gyamfi hasn't gotten a lot of minutes this year.
Busy all winter long.
Minnesota Golden Gophers 10-1 overall this season. Second in the Big Ten Conference. They're playing Lindenwood today. And they defeated Purdue to open Big Ten play 60-58. So the Golden Gophers certainly will put up a fight against the Iowa Hawkeyes when they come to town next week. This one's thrown out of bounds. I wonder if it felt so close.
I was going to say, I didn't.
That's my bad. I have the wrong date written down.
I don't want to tell you.
Taylor McCabe puts up a three. No good. Back iron. Rebound by Ediger with 2.5 minutes left, but she scores here. Now Taylor McCabe the other way. Cross for Feuerbach in the corner. Makes a miss. Kenneth Johnson in for Ediger. Off the glass. No good. Gets her own rebound and draws the foul. December. This one's into Jada Gyamfi. Can't get it to go off to Gallinopoulos. Makes a move inside. Knocked away by Kylie Feuerbach. Jada Gyamfi behind the defense. Off the glass and good. Nolan catch and shoot three. No good. Rebounded by Kenneth Johnson. 15 seconds on the clock. And Johnson's just going to dribble this one out. Iowa gets the victory 98-69 over the Loyola Chicago Ramblers. Held the Ramblers to 0 over the last 5 minutes and 40 seconds. And what it was a high offensive game, this Iowa defense showed out in the end.
Yeah, they did. In the second half, Hawkeye.